Good evening. It is the 31st of July, a Thursday night. No, it is a Wednesday night. If you remember last week, I put out a vlog on Monday, 6 days ago, and the reason that I did that is because I was ill for the week. About 3 or 4 days of the week, I was right in there in that bathroom and very uncomfortable. And I couldn't get everything done that I wanted to get done. And in the haste of making the vlog, I left out some stuff that I wanted to put in last week's vlog that kind of wrapped up the trip to Las Vegas. So, before we move on with this vlog, let's go back to last week and finish off some stuff there that I wanted to get done. And the first thing is this lady right here. She just celebrated her birthday. Close personal friend of me, and close personal friend of Grace, and close personal friend of Rain Delay. This is Kim Lim.
Don't do that. It's for
You guys probably know her from her really successful Instagram page, Kimbo something or other. I will post a link to that in the description. Also, and this is kind of the main reason I wanted to kind of go back to last week, is one of the best parts of making the vlog is meeting you guys when we're out and about. And last week, or 2 weeks ago, when we were in Vegas for the World Series, I got to meet a whole bunch of you guys. And Hector came up to me and Grace, and we took some pictures because their wives were in bed. They came up to me, we were at Venetian, about to get into a 2-5 game really late at night. So, and Hector, good luck at the tables, guys. Also, I was playing at Harrah, and Earl came up, said what's going on, he enjoys the vlog. So Earl, good luck to you as well. And then we were playing, it was me and Grace, and who else was there? I think that was it. We were playing over at Venetian really late at night. 2 people came down the escalator, if you're familiar with the escalator that's behind the poker room there. They stopped, they came in. That was Matt and Sadie. Matt and Sadie, good luck to you guys. Thank you for stopping and saying hello. And last but not least, kind of a local legend, good personal friend to Rain Delay, and that is Mike A. from Harrah, a local grinder who looks a lot like this. Not only did he stop and say hello, but he hung out with us for a little while, so good luck, Mike, at the tables. So, for this vlog, me and Grace, we went down to Harrah's Metropolis Casino to play a little No Limit Texas 2 card. And the state of Illinois, where this casino is, has some very arcane rules when it comes to what you're allowed to do in the poker room. I mean, they don't allow headphones, cameras, telephones, anything. No electronic devices at all while you're at the table. So filming is just impossible. Secret footage from the game. We're playing short-handed. And that's cool. We knew that going in, so we thought what we could do is me and her would go over some hands together for you. A starring role for Grace. You guys are always asking for more Grace, especially in the comments. Kevin C. You are always asking for more Grace. Well, here is your chance to get inside of her brain. Okay? As you guys know, in the vlog, I like to mix things up. I like to show you a little bit of what's going on in my life and kind of mix it along with the poker. And this week was no different. So what I thought I would do is I would take you to the guy who invented Crocs.
Come out and play, come out and play, come out and play on this lovely sunny day.
This dude invented Crocs. He lives in Nashville and he lets people come hang out in his front yard. So I thought, well, this sounds really awesome. Let's go do that. Here is the problem with that. I filmed an entire day. I took an entire day to do this. Got to the guy's yard and realized, well, now what? Okay, I have located his house. It's that way. And you're probably saying, why would you guys want to hang out in this dude's front yard? Well, here's why.
Come out and play, come out and play, come out and play on this lovely sunny day.
That is why you hang out in this guy's yard, because he does these really cool things for the community. I thought it'd be kind of cool to go check it out, show you guys what's going on, something that's cool that you can do in Nashville that you can't do anywhere else. And it kind of ended up being like, not that interesting at all. So, without further ado, let's get into some hands.
It's me.
Y'all know Grace? We went to Harrah's Metropolis in Metropolis, Illinois. Interesting story about Harrah's Metropolis Casino is not only is it where we sometimes play poker, but it is also
Where we met.
where we met. So the story behind how we met is kind of an interesting story. I was a dealer on the craps table, and Grace used to play in the pit because she's Asian. And she liked dealers who were talkative. And as you all know, I'm a little bit talkative. So she would always play on my side. Could have been my charming good looks. I don't know. Who knows what it was? It could have been any of those things.
It wasn't. It was his address.
And the reason she says that is because she used to be, and still is, kind of a label whore. She likes to shop at expensive places. And if you may not know this, but if you don't live in a state that has a store in which you're shopping, then you don't have to pay taxes. And I, at the time, lived in Kentucky. She lived in Tennessee, and she wanted to send a relatively expensive handbag to somebody who lived in Kentucky. That's where I came in. So one day, she simply asked me, where do you live? I told her I live in Kentucky, and she mailed me a package. She came to pick it up, and she never left. Because once you go at them, you never want to leave.
Just got here at Harrah's Metropolis Casino. I got to shower real quick, get all purdy, and we will get at the tables. They only run 1-2 here. They don't allow any filming, so I'm gonna hopefully not get hit by this car. And then I'll just have to sneak a little footage and then talk about some hands. I haven't told Grace yet, but she's gonna talk about her hands too. We're gonna do it together. Cool.
As far as the players that we're playing against, we really don't know much. So,
But Harrah's Metropolis plays a special breed of poker. So as we're pulling in, I tell Adam, remember, they play weird here. So don't squeeze light, don't raise light, because nobody folds pre-flop, ever. They must see a flop, and they must continue. So if you squeeze light, you'll end up seeing the flop 6 ways. So we sit down at the table. You can buy them for what, is it 70%?
70% of the big stack.
So of course, I come in for absolute max, which I think the table hates. I think I came in for 900. And so the very first hand, I sit down, I get my chips. 3 people limp. I look down at the ace-4 of diamonds, and I squeeze because I make bad choices. And I hate money. So I squeeze. As expected, we see the flop 6 ways.
Squeeze to what?
I squeezed to 20, I think. 18 or 20, I don't remember. Again, we're playing 1-3 or 1-2.
I think it's 1-3.
Yeah, so there are 3 limps ahead of me. I think I raised to 18. And a couple people behind me called, everybody called. Everybody that limped called, just like I told Adam that they would. You see the flop 6 ways. The flop is 7-8-9 with 2 diamonds. But again, we're 6 ways. So it gets checked to me. I check behind. There is an older man to my direct left sitting in between Adam and I, and he's got a lot of chips.
Okay, this man is, this dude's super cool, but he's a little bit squirrely.
He's an old man blaster, actually.
He is. He is.
He bets everything. Again, this is my first hand, so I didn't know that. But anyway, he's in between us. I check, and he leads for 35. And one person calls in between us, so I'm not gonna fold a nut flush draw for $35. So I'm not gonna raise either, because that would be suicidal. So I end up flatting the 35 and take a more passive line in this hand against, 6 players to start the hand on a very, very wet board. Anyway, 3 of us see the turn. The turn is a 3. A 3 of clubs, I think. Doesn't matter. It's not a diamond 3. It's a black 3.
Offsuit 3.
And
don't say black 3. That's racist.
First guy checks. I check behind. Old man blaster bets 115. The other guy folds. And I figure out at this point that he's made some comments in between. So I figure out at this point that he is kind of a blaster. So again, I'm not gonna fold a nut flush draw to him for 115 in a kind of bloated pot that I made bloated. So I flat the 115, and the river, of course, is another dark colored queen. I check behind, I check again, and he ends up betting 230, and I fold like a girl because I can't beat anything at this point, and it's my first hand. So I'm resigned to start the session down $200. So I, of course, add on $200. So now I'm in this 1-3 game for $1,100.
And whose fault is that?
It's your fault.
In between the hand that Grace just played and the hand that I'm about to go over with you, the guy between us, the blaster, played this hand relatively aggressively, where he made, it was check to the river, and he bet, 3-bet, very large with the nuts. So I had a relatively good idea on how he would play a nutted hand. So in this hand, I'm under the gun, but there's a button straddle for $6. The small blind limps. The blaster limps. I have 9-10 of spades. And I decide to limp as well. Everybody else folds to the button who checks his option. The flop is very good for me. It's 8 Jack Queen. But it's a mixed bag because they're all clubs. All puppy dog feet. Now, the Grace checks, and then the blaster guy bets $25. Now I know how he plays his very nutted hands. So I decided to raise very small here. I raised to $65. The button folds and Grace folds. And I know now that if the blaster dude 3-bets me, if it's even called a 3-bet, like on the flop like this, but if he puts in more chips than my 65,
called a raise.
Yes, then I can assure you that he has a flush, and I can fold my straight. We all know how I can make very good and easy folds. So I could very easily fold this made straight on the flop if he raises. I know I'm saying that jokingly, but I honestly think I could because sort of based on that hand, the way he played the ace queen.
And this guy is super deep. Super, super deep.
He is very deep. Instead of raising, he just calls, which is pretty sweet. The turn card is also sweet. It is the 4 of hearts. He checks it over to me, and I fire out $75, and I'm willing to bet a decent amount of money that he has a top pair or second pair type hand with a big club, would be my guess. He elects to make the call, and we go to the river, and I'm really just hoping to fade a nasty club, and that's really it. That's really all I'm really concerned about is a club. So the river card's a club. It's the 6 of clubs, but this is where I luck out a little bit, is I don't have to face a bet from him because he checked in the dark.
Very strong.
Yeah, so I don't go for any more value on this hand. I just check behind. And if it wasn't a monotone board on the flop, we probably could have played a pretty large pot because he ended up having Jack 8 for 2 pair on the flop. So a little bit of unfortunate run out there on the flop that we had to deal with the 3 clubs. Otherwise, we could be talking about a big old win for Daddy.
Come out and play, come out and play, come out and play on this lovely sunny day. And what are we gonna play? And what are we gonna play on this lovely
As I said earlier, I started the session down $200 immediately, like I often start my sessions.
She oftentimes, this is actually kind of a little story that we have just between it, like that seems to happen between us a lot, is I'll start up and she'll start down, and then I'll start talking, you know, got talking chips, And then at the end of the day, the roles sometimes
Often.
sometimes get reversed.
Often.
Get reversed sometimes.
Often. Always.
Just tell your stupid hand.
Okay. So anyway, I'm stuck 200 going into this hand. And again, Metropolis is a very limp, happy place. So when you're there, I've been yelled at. We've both been yelled at for raising too much. And people don't like it when you raise.
They sit there and they try to limp for this stupid bad beat.
Which they just got. But we've been getting yelled at for years.
I hate bad beats. I want $0 more taken out of the pot. I can't stand the idea of bad. Anyway, don't keep going.
It was folded to me in the small blind. So I'm in the small blind. The older man blaster guy is in the big blind. I don't look at my hand. I always ask the big blind, do you want to chop or play? I'm fine with either, normally, whatever they want to do. The older man turns to me and says, quote, I hate chopping. I would rather sleep with my sister. Seems kind of extreme, but if you want to play, I'll be happy to play. So I look down at my hand and I have Jack 10 offsuit.
I'm laughing because as she told that, it reminded me that the blaster in the middle of a hand told another person his own age, a lady at the end of the table, that she looked nice in her blouse. He did.
He was a nice man. He was
guy.
a super nice man, but he came to play. He didn't want to chop.
He came to play.
He was not interested at all in chopping. I don't know where his sister was, but if I chopped, maybe he was gonna go sleep with her. I don't know.
I hope not.
Regardless, I limp with my Jack 10 offsuit. I don't want to raise because if he 3-bets, I don't want to fold my hand. So I limp, prepared to call his raise that I know is coming. So he makes a 13. And I call the 13. So we see a flop, and the flop is 6, 7, 9 with two diamonds.
What do you have again?
I have the Jack 10 offsuit.
Yeah, you said that.
I check to him, and he bets $20. I call the 20. I'm not going to raise, again, suicidal against this guy. So I call the 20. The turn is an 8. So the board is now 6, 7, 8, 9. So I check to him again. There's now 2 diamonds and 2 clubs on the board. I think I have one of each. So I have 2 flush draws. Right? That's how it works?
Yeah, you can hit,
Yeah. So I check to him because he always bets. And sure enough, he bets $45.
Right on cue.
Right. So if he has a 10, if he has some sort of nutted hand, I want to shovel as much of that giant stack into this pot as possible. So I don't go for a min raise. I don't go for a 1.5x raise. I make it 160. And I don't expect him to fold anything. Unless he has air, I don't expect him to fold anything because he always has to see a river. I probably could have made it 250 and he might have called. But again, I was hoping I could make it enough and he would throw in some massive raise and we could just get our stacks in at this point. I was hoping, obviously, he had a 10. He ends up calling very quickly. He calls almost instantly. The river is the queen of clubs, completing the front door flush draw. Not great, but you can't just go putting people on flush draws on this type of board. So there's no reason to check this card. If he shoves, I can reevaluate, but there's no way I'm checking. I end up betting, I think I bet 160 again. Again, we're playing 1-3. 160 is not a small bet in 1-3. 160 is a lot, probably more than most people have in their stack, honestly.
Yeah, but when you bet the same on the river that you bet on the turn, players just assume when it's the same bet, that's going to equate to a small bet.
Right, but I wasn't expecting him to raise. I didn't want to bet something astronomical that would make him fold a 10. Like, no, I still wanted him to call.
No, I think
so. I sized it to 160, thinking that he wouldn't be able to fold a 10. He might not be able to fold 2-pair. I don't know how he would play 2-pair, but if,
I think we know how he'd play 2-pair. I think he'd say call.
Right. Well, if he had a 10, I think if he had a 10, our stacks would have gone in on the turn.
I think so.
But he had to have something on this board, so I ended up betting 160, and he folds pretty quickly. So
did he have the other flush draw?
Well, he didn't show, so I don't know what he had. But I ended up winning that pot, which gets me unstuck, and I think the players at Metropolis made some smart alecky comment about, I bet he wishes he would have chopped now.
I doubt he cares. I really doubt he cares.
I don't think he cared at all. But again, it got me unstuck, so
you're winning now.
So yes.
Okay, game is over. Huge winners. In for, like, I was in for 600. Grace was in for 1,100. She won 100. She won 50. I won 50. Huge winners.
You know the deal. Like, subscribe. Help Adam earn his keep around this household.
I do plenty to earn my keep.
We'll go with that.
So, yeah. So do what she said. Trust me, it's better if you just do what she says. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Hit the one that looks like this. Do not hit the one that looks like this.
Hit the bell. Is that a bell?
Hit the bell.
Is this what a bell
That's
is?
a bell. Hit the bell. Get notifications.
Come see us at Cherokee this weekend.
Yeah, come see us today, because we're at Cherokee right now.
Yes, and we'll be on Monday
as well.
And maybe part of Tuesday.
And we will see you guys in 1 week.
Oh, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
1 week.
Okay, I get it now.
Every week we put out a video, every Sunday.
I get it now.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Come out and play, come out and play, come out and play on this lovely sunny day. And what are we gonna play? And what are we gonna play on this lovely